Remi. My name is Remi Osifo. I'm the lead curator for Abuja City Tourists. Abuja City Tourists is a visual brand storytelling platform for local tourism in Nigeria. I was opportunity to work in the media sector for a while, and this made me travel a lot around Nigeria. So I was doing a lot of documentaries and just seeing places that I never knew existed. After that, I moved to management consulting in a role that specifically required me to find hidden spots for people to take examinations within Nigeria. So I started discovering resorts and places that I'd never heard about until my travels, and this made me realize that there are a lot of things, a lot of places that I needed to talk about, although I didn't know how, but I was inspired to come up with a way to showcase my country. So yes, that's how Abuja City Tourists came about. There's a lot of weird information about Nigeria out there: insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, all of those things. Of course these things actually happen, but beyond that, there's culture, there's people, there's food, there's entertainment. There's a lot of things that make up Nigeria aside our wars in quotes. So yes, this is our mission, to actually change the mainstream media narrative of Nigeria and also promote local tourism. We would want to be the go-to organization for local tourism in Nigeria. We have to work towards giving or bringing a better logistics system, transportation system in Nigeria, because you find that most of these tourist locations are not exactly accessible. Now, how do you want to market a place that people cannot even get to? There's a waterfall here in Abuja that you have to hike for 1 hour to access. I'm not going. Forget how adventurous I am. I'm definitely not going there. There's also a lot to be done when it comes to what the media says about Nigeria. But you find that other countries have their wars, but you also find that these wars don't define the country. It's unfortunate because most Nigerians are afraid to go anywhere. You market somewhere that is just slightly outside of Abuja and everybody's saying, but bandits are there, but kidnappers are there. This might not necessarily be the truth, but that's what is predominant in the media today. So that's what's believable. So all of that, I wouldn't say controlled media, I would just say let's push the good narrative as much as we're also saying the truth about what's going on in Nigeria. Even though Abuja City Tourists started in 2018, we actually just started as a business a year ago. So we're literally a baby company. But we now have like external consultants that work with us, people we can outsource things to, tour guides, and just consultants on projects that we come across or that come our way. There's also an expansion plan in place. So aside Abuja being the focal point right now, we intend to expand across Nigeria as a whole, showcase places within Nigeria, showcase people, culture across Nigeria, food across Nigeria, and eventually Africa. Most people, when you hear funding, you hear debt alongside the funding. So there's like funding, then there's debt, and then people don't want to be in debt. But people also need to understand that there are grants, there are other means of getting funding for their businesses. So personally, Abuja City Tourists has not tried to access any funding, but in the new year, in the coming months, we are definitely going to look into that, especially for our expansion plan, because that's the only way to actually actualize it. Our biggest achievements as Abuja City Tourists would be community. So we started something called Conversations with ACT. In the past, we started in February. Right now, we've built a community of almost 60 people, a little over 60 people. It makes me so happy that even without our bi-monthly events, these people look for each other, go to each other's houses, play games, invite each other to events, invite each other to job interviews, things like that. So I think that has been our greatest achievement. Every time I see it, there's like a very wide smile on my face. It makes me very happy because I think it's a step in the right direction, because if we're trying to promote local tourism and also helping people build relationships amongst themselves so that they don't feel alone in a big city, we've won. Technically, yeah. So I think that's our biggest achievement so far. My biggest advice would be to start. When I started, I was using iPhone 6, no shade to iPhone 6. But then that's how I started. But what did I do differently? YouTube was my best friend. So my spare time at night, I would go there, look for resources, think of how to make my craft better. I don't think there's anything you're looking for that it doesn't exist on Google or on YouTube. Just search, do your research, be ready to read, be ready to learn from other people. And I think the last part would be, you're going to make mistakes, you're possibly going to fail too. But then that's part of the story, and in those tiny failures or even the big failures, that's where you get full understanding of what you're doing and how to make it better. So don't take mistakes, don't take failures as it's done, I'm done, it's finished. No, see them as stepping stones, and also realize that in those moments, in those mistakes, in those failures, that therein lies your opportunity for growth and your ability to do better than the last time.